Welcome to another episode of Ecoville. I'm your host, Nonsigelelo Gwakam. Today on the show, we're joined by Blutus Mbambi, who is an environmentalist from Zambia and holds a Bachelor of Science in Environmental Management System and Climate Change Policy. He's also a member of Global Platform Zambia, United Nations Youth Association of Zambia, and founder of Center for Climate Change Action and Advocacy. On the show today, we'll discuss a controversial story where an Australian mining company, Mwembeshi Resources Limited, plans to open a large-scale open-pit copper mine in the middle of the Lower Zambezi National Park in Zambia. The park is located on the northern banks of the Zambezi River, opposite Zimbabwe's Manapos. If the mine starts operations, this will drive out wildlife from one of Africa's most pristine, remote, unspoiled, and spectacular wilderness areas. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, approximately 7,000 tourists visited Manapos, which is a World Heritage Park, and the Lower Zambezi Valley each year, generating over $2 million in revenue. Legal battles to stop the opening of the mine have been raging from 2012, with individuals and organizations fighting against the proposed Kangaluwi mine. But the final appeal was dismissed in February this year, and it was recently reported that the Zambia Environmental Management Agency, ZEMA, has issued a letter approving the environmental impact statement for the open pit mine. So to discuss this further, let's welcome Blutus to the program so we can discuss the issue. Welcome to the program, Blutus.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be hosted on this program. And I just want to urge everyone, the young people from Zimbabwe and the cross-neighbor countries, to be at the center of change as young people. Thank you so much. I'm really excited and welcome any question that is coming on my way.
All right. So please tell us about yourself and your involvement with environmental conservation work in Zambia.
Well, like you stated in the introduction, my name is Blutus Mbambi, graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Environmental Management Systems at Information and Communication University. And I'm being trained as a climate diplomat by Climate Technology Center and Network and a blockchain climate institution in emerging blockchain technology in climate policy implementation in Zambia. And by the end of this program, I'll be able to identify greener technology and sound climate change initiative that can be implemented in our country. And I'm a member of Global Platform Zambia, United Youth Association of Zambia, a founder of a Center for Climate Change Action and Advocacy, a non-profitable organization that aims at nurturing research, innovation, and building capacity to give a platform for the youth to identify the potential innovation in our country. And I'm a trained climate activist by ActionAid Zambia and Oxford University. And I'm also a former president of Information and Communication University Environmental Society. That is my introduction. And my involvement during the environmental conversation in Zambia, since I've been working in the environment since 2018, and I was the first person who dreamed of environmental society at the university where I am in 2017, and I took action to make this dream come true. I've been organizing teams within my university to participate in the United Nations Development Program on innovation that can scale up our country to create entrepreneurship to our nature-based solution. And since 2018, I've been facilitating, organizing, and taking part of climate movements by organizing dialogues, discussion around climate change, shocks and distress on a TV show program and radio stations, as well as in school, leading climate discussion around climate change. I've been organizing people conferences as well to connect young people to come together and fight for poor waste management in Zambia, climate change policies, climate justice, and many more environmental issues that are perpetuating in our environment due to political violence and political initiatives that are being what was happening in our previous government. As well as I've been involved working with Action Aid and WWF on Youth Hub by organizing these dialogues and climate change talks on radio station, as well as on a ground in these activities like the events on World Cleanup Day, Environmental Days, and many more activities that are on calendar. I've been involving, and I'm an active member. I always make sure that everyone is participating. I always inspire young people to take part in these activities. Also, I'm a coordinator for youth for United Nations Youth Program on climate change in Zambia, where we usually hold dialogues by training and mentoring young people to come together to discuss about the sustainable development goals, especially the climate change talks and gender-based violence, as well as on life in water and many more sustainable development I'd like you to achieve in 2030.
Okay, that's really nice to know you're very involved in environmental work. So what is an open pit mine and what dangers does it pose to humans and wildlife?
Well, that's a good question. So an open pit mine is an open cast mining, or it's a surface mining technique that extracts minerals.
So what dangers does it pose to humans and wildlife?
What happens to the open pit mines when the logs are being crushed? They include sulfate minerals that are evacuated from the open pit mines. So this sulfate reacts with oxygen to create sulfuric acid. And sulfuric acid is the most poisonous acid that destroys the vegetation. Also, that when it's being emitted in the air, it can even spread diseases. And another dangers of mining pollute air and drinking water. So when this mining taking place, there's a probability of this activity being those discharge this waste in the river, those discharge this waste in the atmosphere. As a result, the environment will be polluted, where air and water and also the soil will be polluted, which means the animals, the habitat, and the people will be having complications on diseases, air, and many more activities. As a result, when there is mining activities going on, which means there will be less fishing, the fishing agriculture as well as the farming system, because people depend, 70% of people in Zambia and other neighboring countries depend on agriculture and fishing. So when mining activities takes place in the forestry, which means the river will be polluted and the air will be polluted and the soil as well will be polluted. So there will be less activities that will be happening on agriculture. As a result, there will be food insecurity to the society, and then there will be also the high level of deforestation, which means when the mining is taking place, they need to clear out the land where maybe we can lose more than 100 hectares of the land where trees are being cut. Also, there will be depletion of natural resources. Also, the mining disrupt the habitat and the loss of biodiversity. What I mean, like there will be loss of extinction of animals, insecticides, as well as there will be loss of trees. We believe that trees are the carbon sink of carbon dioxide at this point, and they capture this pollution to clean up our air. They give us medicine. So as a result, the people will be affected. The livelihood of the people will be affected.
So you're basically saying opening this mine will basically contaminate the Zambezi River, driving out animals, compromising their health, compromising human life. That's the expectation, and just destroying the whole ecosystem that's there in that area.
We believe that this policy is giving people jobs in the tourism, which means people will be forced to migrate from one place to another to seek for a land, agriculture, and many more activities and customs. And animals go extinct like elephants and many more big animals. So which means these activities or this mine that they want to build in the forest, they will destroy the livelihood of the people, the biodiversity, and the depletion of natural resources at large in our country. those who are neighboring countries.
So we understand now the environmental impact. Then we also
Yes.
we're looking at tourism. This area supports like over 1,000 tourism jobs. If the mine does become operational, how will this affect tourism for Zambia and Zimbabwe?
So we believe that the mining activities are inseparable from the environment. What I mean, when they want to implement this mining, they need to destroy a good number of trees for them to start digging. Okay? So how this mining activity, when it's come into operation, to affect the tourism sector, which means the tourism sector involved with interaction with animal biodiversity and other many more resources like water as well as and other stuff. So which means that when this mine is being implemented, people lose their jobs. Those are working from there, they'll lose jobs. They'll be forced to migrate from one place to another to search for land. Also, the agriculture sector will be affected because the same mining activity, when it's being implemented, they'll start discharging the dangerous chemicals in the liver and as well in the soil, as well as in the atmosphere. As a result, the economy, because we believe that Zambia, the 30% of the economy are being run by tourism in Zambia. So which means if this tourism is being affected, Zambia wants to receive a main tourists from other countries to come and visit Zambia because the forest is being destroyed, which means there will be pull factors that will be driving people of not coming to Zambia to see this the amazing forestry that are being given by God and this natural. Another thing is when this mining activity is implemented, this mining activity only support maybe 100 jobs, and these 100 jobs are being supported by trained personnel, and which means the local people won't even benefit from this mining because they're lacking skills of working in the mining sector, and this mining sector is not a long-term go where people benefit. It's just a short term where when this mineral depletes, which means they're going to close this mining. And most of the people will be affected on agriculture as well as the economy. We believe Zambia, 90% of Zambian people depend on agriculture, and the economy is being lined by agriculture. So which means this mining is a short-term goal, and which will affect people and to leave people in anger and food insecurity, as well as it will reduce the level of economy in our country. We believe that green economy and environment is being implemented in Zambia. It's time now the Zema people and the government to take these issues into consideration so that we want to lose our biodiversity, we want to deplete our natural resources, the level of deforestation is supposed to be there. Because in 2020, Zambia was to be the first country of doing deforestation at a high rate of 75%, you know? So we believe that this mining it will pose the greatest issue to our country in economy, agriculture, as well as tourism, also lots of employment to the youth and the indigenous people in the Lower Zambezi village as well, part of Zambia.
You've talked about the impact on Zambia and the impact on the community around that area. Yes. So now we're looking at the Zambezi Basin. The Zambezi Basin is one of Africa's most important basins. It's a natural asset shared between Angola, Botswana, Tanzania, Namibia, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Malawi, and Mozambique. And it directly supports livelihoods of 47 million people. Do you think that the Zambian government understands if they open that mine, how many lives and countries will be affected by the opening of that mine?
I think maybe the Zambian government, they don't understand the importance of the Zambezi Basin. Because if they think it's wrong for them to approve the EIA for that forest, for that community, because like you have said, we share this Lower Zambezi Basin to these neighboring countries. I think for the government, it's wrong to approve that. It's wrong because we believe that forest, we are talking about climate change issues right now. And that forest is the one that has a huge carbon sink, and it has it supports main livelihood on the people, the forestry, the biodiversity, animals and insects, as well as the farming. Because which means our rainfall pattern will be disturbed. If right now we're experiencing the loss of the decrease in receiving rainfall, where rainfall start late and end early, which means agriculture sector is being affected, the forestry is being affected, the people is being affected, as well as we can say the clean air and the biodiversity is being affected. I think for the government trained and administration, this is wrong. They can't go on and approve that mining, because it would disturb the livelihood of the people, to force people to migrate, to force people to start their lives. And we believe that people, they believe in a forestry where they get medicine, where they get different sources of income from the forestry, where most of the people depend. They've been working for a long time from there. Like I mentioned on agriculture and fish farming. Most of the people, they depend on fish farming. So, which means the government want to provide more than $1 billion of jobs to the local communities, which means local community will go extincted. The local community will go unemployed. I don't know how the local community will survive. I don't know where they're going to take them. So for them to start living the life they've been living for a long time ago. I think the government, they need to look into this constellation to revoke the EIA, to revoke the decision that was made by ZEMA. It's almost unacceptable for that agency to do that, just because the mining activity is being, I don't know, it's corruption, whatever they were doing for the previous government. That was wrong. And this is a time for the government, for the new government, to look in consideration not only for the Lower Zambezi National Park, also for the Mukura trees that was imported for the Chinese, also for the forest number 27, to look in consideration and look for those perpetrators and those people who are behind the scene, to catch them and pay for that, so that we see how we can work on the same position.
So we've talked about that's good. Yes. You've talked about the livelihoods, how it's going to affect all these people from different countries. So we've looked at the human aspect of it. Now let's look at the wildlife aspect of it. Yes. You see, the basin is it has one of the largest populations of elephants and bird species in the whole of Africa. So opening this mine is also going to affect the wildlife so much. So what losses are we looking at in terms of wildlife loss between Zambia and Zimbabwe if the Zambian government goes ahead and opens this mine?
So the loss of the wildlife from the Zimbabwe, we believe that we share the Lower Zambezi between Zimbabwe and Zambia. If the government goes on and approve this decision to affect the animals like elephants, as well as the tourism sector, the money that we used to share between Zambia and Zimbabwe in terms of tourism, the budget will go down, which means the economy of Zambia will be affected, and the economy of Zimbabwe will be affected, because we should depend on the tourism sector. Okay. Mm-hmm. Also, we talked about the lives of the people, as well as the wildlife. So the wildlife will go extincted. Most of the animals will start migrating from one place to another to search where they can stay, which means there will be that level of impactuality where there will be collision of animals. Also, there will be reduction of the economy, where we see the tourism sector is going down without having tourists come and visit this place. Because we believe that tourism will bring us the money, where we help ourselves, these people, as well to bring money, also employment to the people. So when the government goes on and approve this one, which means the wildlife will go extincted. The agriculture sector also will go extincted. We have the people depend from wildlife life, where all they do is just on wildlife. All they do is working with the tourism sector. So what will happen? People lose jobs. The animal will go extincted. the country economy will be reduced due to the level where if we used to receive receive visitors from different parts of the world to come and visit Zambia and Zimbabwe because of the same tourism, which means the business sector will be affected as well from Zimbabwe and Zambia.
Mm-hmm. So I understand. So far, what I'm understanding from what you've been saying is there is loss for humans, there is loss for wildlife, and then in Africa in general, there's been talk of unsustainable mining. There's been a lot of mining activities that are actually ruining our environment. So I just wanted to ask you. Like with Zambia, Zimbabwe, and any other African country, how do you think we can benefit from our environment without going into all these unsustainable mining practices? How can we enhance our environment so that we actually do make a profit from it?
Okay, beautiful. Like I was saying, I'm being trained in emerging technology and implementation policies. We believe that sustainable agriculture and sustainable forestry is the way to go. Okay, we need to protect our forestry. We need to implement new technology in forestry in order for us to manage this forestry. We need to come up with an initiative and sound technology that will help the country and the economy. The reason why these countries are improving the EIA and sustainable mining in the forest because of they're looking for to develop because of the Western culture. And they want to implement mining so that they can have a revenue. They can increase in revenue, taxes and other stuff. They want to have more money in their pocket. They want to have more money for the country. But I believe if we invest in technology, if we invest in sustainable agriculture, if we invest in a sustainable forestry, where we use the knowledge of the indigenous people to fight for the changes of the sustainable mining, and there's a need for us now to train the local people, to train the youth to know the welfare of the environment. That's the reason why people are approving the EIA, because they don't know the importance of the environment. They doesn't know what it takes for them to build the mine and how the life of the biodiversity and the forestry and the life of the people will be affected. For them, they believe that when they approve the mine, they're going to be benefited, because they only believe that when they're able to benefit, that's the end of at all. But they don't think that there'll be the effect of climate change that will come. And if we explain the effect of climate change, the forestry life is the one that help us to think and prevent those numerous activities, shocks, and events that are coming on climate change. Okay. So we need to invest in technology. We need to invest in agriculture. We need to invest in tourism to put measures and tools that can help our country to grow the economy rather than just depending on the short-term businesses or mining and sustainable mining that will ruin our life, that will create numerous activities that will kill people due to pollution and the diversification of activities of cutting down of trees.
How also do you think politics has been influential in allowing the licensing of the mine?
The political level in Zambia has really not influenced the mining activity. Also, the livelihood of the people in our country. We have no say. We didn't have no say. You can't even say anything because the capitalism was high. People started building where on river aquifers, water bodies. When you say the police has no authority, the government itself, they're working with these politicians and capitalism. So the political level in Zambia has really influenced the environmental agency and the bodies in Zambia as well as the institution. Because when someone fails to approve the report or the EIA, him or she will be disqualified from the job or he will be fired because of the political level of bias. Because this politician, they make excuses and give us empty promises that they are going to do this and this, but at the end of the day, they're achieving nothing. Quite okay. I feel bad the level of policy that we have in our country, where we are good in terms of writing policies without doing the actual implementation action that need to be done in our country. I can give an example. We have the NDC reports that have been published at the end of the year, that have been submitted to the IPPC and the Paris Agreement and the United Nations CPC. They are good in terms of writing these policies, but inside there are no action that are being implemented. They're saying they're going to fight climate change using nature-based solution, but the nature-based solution being degraded. What the whole point of us submitting that NDC if we're building mine in the forest, we're approving mine in the forest? What's the whole point for us to write those policies? So those policies, they're just empty promises to us as young people. I don't see any sense of them submitting the NDC report to the international security conferences, but inside our country, we're not doing anything. Not fighting climate change to a level where we can protect our forests, we can protect our animals, we can protect the insecticide, we can protect.
So clearly there's a link between politics, passing of environmental laws. So lastly, there's been a change in presidency actually in Zambia in the last few months, and there have also been calls to the Zambian government to repeal laws that allow mining in protected and ecologically sensitive areas and revoke all exploration and mining licenses that have already been issued. As there's been a change in government after the election of Mr. Hakainde
Hichilema.
Yes, Hichilema. Do you think your government will act on these calls?
As an environment activist, I'll keep observing them, because I can take you back looking at the manifesto of the current government, the UPND, under the leadership of Mr. Hakainde Hichilema. The manifesto for the environment and climate change was something that you can just throw in the trash. They did have goals and objectives or policies on how they are going to incorporate environment issues and climate change. To me, I'm not even impressed about the Ministry of Green Economy and Environmental. To me, I'll just keep on observing on how they're going to incorporate actions. If we support the government that they are going to do well, the same government, they promise us to give us the free education when they come in power. The same government, they promises us if they get in power, they're going to revoke the environmental impact assessment in the Lower Zambezi River. Up to now, that's a song that we are able to sing. We are trading them that it can't even respond to us. Okay, like on 18th of the World Cleanup Day, we had a conversation with the local and the local minister on the one who is responsible for poor waste management. And when you walk around in Zambia city or Lusaka city, they're full of waste. So what's the point for the government? They're failing to work on the ground of reducing that waste. Mm-hmm. How can they improve on the implementation of policies at large where they are failing to manage the poor waste management? In Africa, in just the city of Lusaka, there is a lack of action. People, they just throw waste and carelessly. Mm-hmm. And the government, they are calling themselves, they're implementing these policies, actions to blind us so that we can support them. Okay, these policies are just there to seek funds from the international corporation so that they implement this action. But inside, these policies are just empty promises. They're just good on paper. Me, I can't even support the current government because I'm waiting for them to see action, to support young people, to be the center of change. We can support for the little effort that implemented to implement the green economy and environment. But we are going to see the plan on how they are going to incorporate actions. Yet we can't support them because it is on the early stage to support them. But we are going to support them when we see change, innovations, advocates of involving young people supporting young people in innovations and entrepreneurs of running their businesses to reduce this level of poverty, employment, and waste management, and fight climate change, to act up and voice up as young as one Zambia, one nation.
So
Yes.
I get you. Basically, you are saying the government still needs to do more in order they should start at the grassroots, take care of waste management, and then go all the way up to policy.
There's a need for the government to empower the local people to have clean water, to have to start practicing sustainable agriculture. People that are in poverty because of lack of farming inputs, lack of clean water. The animals need clean water because at this point the water bodies are dry, and the animals are walking kilometers and kilometers to go and access water. Okay. People are walking kilometers to go and access clean water. So what makes you think like the government, the new government are going to do well? So we want to see the government to start on the grassroots level, to help out the community, to empower them to stop cutting down trees aimlessly, to protect their already water bodies from deforestation. They need to start practicing. They need for them to start planting trees. There's a need for them to empower your child from knowing the environment issues and their rights to protect the environment and the protection of the forestry. Okay, there's a need for the government and local people, the civil society organization, to create the channel on how they're supposed to communicate on the same time when they have the challenge on the environmental issues. And there's the low budget on the environmental allocation. They can't give you a 0.8 something to fight climate change, environmental protection. What do you think? 0.8? That budget will go without seeing a clear picture of the climate change. We need the homegrown solution. We don't need to seek for international aid to fight for the climate change. We need the homegrown solution to empower the pupils, the students and the universities to come up with a homegrown solution to fight the disasters, to fight climate change, deforestation, degradation, so that we can have we can achieve 2030 agenda, so we can fulfill the Paris Agreement by 2030. We can reduce the greenhouse gases by zero emission by 2030. We can have the NDC report where young people and the society that they can benefit. We can be proud of as activists. Okay. As well, young people, they need jobs, green jobs. We need green consumption. We need to low carbon. We need to see how we can hold the government accountable to the sharing of funds. Quite a good government, they're receiving funds, but nothing is being done on levels of how they are fighting climate change in rural areas as well as the cities.
So thank you so much for coming to the program. We've seen the impact on human life. We've seen the impact on wildlife. We've seen the economic damage that this mine can cause to the Lower Zambezi. And also, I feel that all these countries should come together and understand how this mine is going to affect so many people from so many different countries. And we also hope that the Zambian government takes heed of these calls, and then they revoke the mine's license to actually save the whole region, because it's not only affecting Zambia, it's actually affecting a lot of people. Thank you again, Blutus, for coming to the program.
Thank you. So I just want to add, I'm urging the neighboring countries, if they can have a say on the same Lower Zambezi River, so that the more voices we make on the ground, the impact that we can make and convince the government to revoke the environmental impact assessment that was approved last year. So this is a time for us now to voice up as young people, as media trained personnel, as civil societies, and the local people, to know the wave of the environment before it's too late for us to start blaming the forefathers, start blaming the climates, whatever. So we need our voices. We need to voice up right now.
This platform is not only limited to Zimbabwe. It's an open platform for everyone, because I feel the fight for our environment is not only limited to people's geographic location. It's all our fight, because we all get affected.
Yes.
So
Yes.
with every issue in the world, it's our issue, because it's our earth and it's our planet, and we need to look after it. Thank you again to all our listeners. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow us on our social media pages. Our handle is EcovilleZW on all platforms. Join us next week for another episode. I'm your host, Nonsikelelo Gwaka.